Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Travel the World as a Speaker. So, for those of you who are on Instagram, on YouTube, you have no idea what's going over here on Instagram. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and change this because we can't keep this up here. But that was fun. That was fun. Is anybody else trying out all of these different filters here on? Do I have to tap this? I think I'm good. Anybody else trying out all these different features here on Instagram, or maybe it's just me? You know what? If you're gonna give me the options, I'm actually gonna use them. I'm gonna check my sound really quickly. All right, so we are good to go. We're here live, Travel the World as a Speaker. I'm your host, Phylecia Jones. I'm actually the lead researcher and founder of iFind You Close, and this show is brought to you by iFind You Close, where we actually go out and research and find speaking engagements for people. That's what we do. We actually do that. So if you want to go check us out, go to ifindyouclose.com, and you can stick around. You can stick around and get a free assessment on whether or not you can attract high-paid speaking engagements. Yes, you want to do it. I absolutely love doing those. Tonight, what we're going to talk about, excuse me. Hey, the Just In Case Lawyer, how you doing here on Instagram? What we're going to talk about tonight is how long it takes to get on stage. Yes, we're going to talk a little bit about travel, and we're going to talk a little bit about speaking, because that's just one of the things I absolutely enjoy doing is travel, because this is Travel the World as a Speaker. Duh. But we have to lace in a little bit of reality check, because every Wednesday here on the show, we're going to do reality checks, and we got to talk about how long it actually takes to get on stage, especially if you are focused. You want to definitely stick around for that. All right, I'm pulling up my little chair here. I have to admit to you, I actually had to take a nap before I came on. I've been staying up way too late. I have been giving myself a whole lot of grace. You know, running a business is a challenge. It's a challenge when I'm trying to actually do my own speaking, trying to run a business. I have clients, I have one-on-one meetings, and I'm trying to work on systems, getting things out there. And I actually just got offered another contract to produce some content for a travel community. So it's I need to go to bed though. I can't keep staying up late, and I need to buy groceries. Oh, I need to buy groceries. All right. You know what? I really don't have a travel story to tell you tonight. Just know that I love to travel. I absolutely love to travel. I am just a couple of announcements just to let you know. I will be working with Travel Noir next week. Is it next week? No, it is the 26th of January. I'll be working with Travel Noir, and we're going to talk about Travel the World as a Speaker. It's going to be a free webinar. You are more than welcome to join. As soon as I get all the details, we're going to talk about that. I also will be joining up with She's Wonderful for the Women in Travel Summit come April. We're working on something there. I will let you know. I'm loving my travel communities, because right now, because I'm so cold and I'm seeing all of the people at the beach, I'm just wondering, why did we come home? Because I'm an RV owner. We were out in the desert for a couple of months, and it's cold here. It's cold here. I'm cold right now, but I'm trying to look cute while I'm on camera. And I got some new hair. As you can tell, for those of you who've been keeping up, I said 2021 was the year of the bang. I was going to try to grow out some bangs. Obviously I failed so far, but that's okay. We'll try again next week. All right, let's go ahead and get into this comment. You didn't show up here to hear about all my craziness, but I'm really excited to talk to you about how long it takes to get on stage. And especially for those of you who are trying to leverage speaking to grow your business, you're trying to leverage speaking to travel the world, we got to put in some little reality bites, because it doesn't just happen overnight. A lot of us think we can just wake up and say, oh my gosh, I'm a speaker, put me on stage. It really doesn't work that way. There are only a few people. Let me sit down. Uh, yeah, you get to see my bottoms here. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. But there are only a few people in this world that can literally just wake up and say, hey, you know what? I want to be on stage by tomorrow. There are only a few people can do that. I'm not one of them. Oprah is, though. And if you are Oprah, I mean, go ahead and do your thing. But the rest of us, we got to pay attention to what we're doing. So here's what is going on. Now, I'm going to tell you what typically happens, and then we're going to talk a bit about what happens when during this year of the pandemic, because things have definitely changed just a little bit because of the pandemic when it comes to getting on stage. And for those of you, if you got questions about anything, please put them in the comment box. Please put them in the comment box. I'm here to answer anything. For those of you on Instagram, we are definitely live here on iFind You Clothes on Instagram. And we're here live on YouTube at our home, ifindyoukclothes.com/YouTube, if you want to join us over there. All right, so how it typically worked before. Let's talk about pre-pandemic days. I always said it took 90 days for you to get on stage. And that is 90 days, not I'm going to wake up and be a speaker and tomorrow they will come. No, it does take about 90 days. I still think it takes about 90 days, but we can kind of short circuit that and go a little bit faster if you are focused. So what happens is, let's just say tomorrow you decided to wake up and you want to become a speaker. And you said, you know what, Phylecia, I love everything you're doing. I want to travel the world as a speaker. Let's make it happen tomorrow. And I'm going to be like, yeah, hold your horses, sweetie. Here's what the reality is. You need to figure out what it is that you have to talk about. If you already have some things that you can talk about, you already have yourself organized, you got something in the background, you got a business, whatever it is. If you already have that in place, you're already kind of ahead of the game. A lot of people who call and talk to me, who do my free assessments, they're starting from scratch. And that's where it takes the longest, when you're starting from scratch. So the first thing is you got to figure out what you talk about and who you want to talk about it to, because we can wake up tomorrow and say we want to be a speaker, but if we don't know who we're talking to, it's just not going to work. So those are the first things. And for those of us who are just beginning, it may take a little bit of time to figure out like what I have to say, who I have to say it to. Do I like it? Do I like this? Do I like this talk? It may take you about 30 days. And that is just to kind of position yourself to make sure that you do come across as an expert. So let's just say that takes the 30 days to figure out what you talk about, getting organized. And now we go out and search for the people who are going to put us on stage. Now we can still start this at the same time. Sometimes getting your act together to get on stage is like a parallel thing. It's not like, let's do one and then we'll go do the next one. Like, you can do it that way. Sometimes it may take you a little bit longer, but you could do these parallel things. Now, the problem we have is that if we try to do too many things at one time, then we'll get very overwhelmed. But what you want to do is look at it as a parallel. So you will be able to go and look for these speaking engagements. And, I'm going to do some shameless plug. All you have to do is sign up for iFindYouClothes.com, because we send out 20 speaking engagements for you to apply to every month. I know. Y'all get me. Shameless plugging. Yeah, I know. Go check out iFindYouClothes.com. But while you are looking for these engagements, now you have to apply to them. And what happens with events? Events, they will go and say, okay, we're ready for speakers, or we're looking for speakers. They may take 30 days to bring in all of these applications, to look at all of the pitches, to evaluate them. That's 30 days to open it up. Some people do it on a rolling basis. Some people wait until they're all in, then they start looking. So it may take them another 15 days to 30 days to kind of sort through everything. So remember, we just submitted our application, or we just submitted our pitch because we said we wanted to do it. It's taking them about 30 days to get back to us. And sometimes, depending on how you're pitching, that's 30 days of back and forth. Like, what did you think? What did you think? Here's my contract. Where's your contract? What are you going to talk about? And this is how it goes. It goes back and forth. So now we're already kind of like 30, 45 days, 60 days in. Then they will make the final decision of, all right, now we want you to come and speak. Now we're close to 90 days. So we're in that month 3 time frame, and we're getting closer to 90 days. That's why I say it takes 90 days to get yourself on stage. And I've always had a mentor who told me, what you do in these 90 days will pay off in the next 90 days. So if you want to start getting on stage, you got to start now. You cannot wake up tomorrow and say, I want to be on stage next week, unless you got some clout. Now, here's the thing. Now, if you got some friends and they know that you can bring the magic, things get you can make this go very short, shorter. But if you don't have friends that just magically have all these stages and you could just call them up and say, hey, let's do this, you're going to have to go the route that a lot of other people do. You got to get down and get into hustle mode and start hustling. All right. You got to start hustling when you're doing all of this. Because I wish it would go faster. You have no idea. I wish it would be faster, but I like to stay on the side of 90 days. And I remember somebody called me the other day. They were asking me to come in and do a program for them to coach some of their speakers. And they were like, yeah, we promise everybody that comes in that within 60 days, they'll be making $10,000. Like, I was like, okay, what alternate reality have you all lived in? And I had to break it down. I was like, it doesn't work that way. I don't want to break anybody's heart. Now, if somebody is already established, they already have their stuff together, they already have their pitch decks, they already know their target audience, they know what they're talking about. Yeah, this can go a lot faster. But if we're talking about from beginner to trying to be on stage and make money, you're going to have to work really hard. It's not that it can happen. It's just, I like to err on the side of setting yourself up for success and not setting yourself up for overwhelm. So the reality is, at the shortest, it may take you 90 days to get on stage. It may take you 90 days. And that is getting yourself organized, getting out there, signing up for a service like iFind you close, and then pitching, finding the right events to pitch, going through their process. You go through their process of pitching. You send out the emails, you send out the application, you send out the pitches, you sit and you wait. And you let them decide, you go back and forth. This may take over a month just to do that right there, a month or two. The last, some of the gigs that I have, when I apply for gigs, yeah, it may take up to 90 days. When I have pitched for gigs, like when I go out and actually do a cold pitch for a gig, it may take a few months. When it comes to, even when people come to me and say, hey, we want you to come speak on our stage, it has taken almost 45 to 60 days just to go back and forth with contracts, making sure my needs are met, their needs are met, everybody is happy, who's paying for what, and when we're doing it. So I just want you to be more realistic about how long this is going to take. Now, what we are seeing, in pandemic times, because so many events are virtual, they are sourcing speakers fairly quickly, but it's still taking a couple of months. I mean, right now we are looking at events, some events, not all, just a handful that I know of. They want speakers by March. They want speakers for an event by March. Now, it is January 13th. They started looking for speakers just this week, and I think they're going to shut it down in a few days of people who can pitch and submit. And they're going to take the next month to let people know, hey, you've made it or whatever. And then you're going to speak. So we're still talking a good 30, 45 days just to know if you're going to get on stage. Now, I will say this, and I'm not trying to throw any shade at anybody, but it's going to sound like I'm throwing some shade at people. The events that are a little bit more of quality, meaning, and how do I say this of quality? It doesn't have anything to do with the attendees. It doesn't have anything to do with the actual platforms or anything like that. I like to look at the quality of how an event takes care of their speakers. When I was a speaker coordinator for 4 years, I really went above and beyond to take care of the people who came to speak because I really cared about them and I wanted to leave a good impression for our organization. What I have noticed about a lot of the events that are sourcing speakers rather quickly is that they're not really promoting you very well. Before, when we had these events that took 90 days or 6 months to evaluate and let people know that you are a speaker, because typically, sometimes you'll know that you're a speaker, then it may take another month. So let's go back to my 90 days. So excuse me for that. So let's go back to my 90 days. So we talked about it'll take you about 90 days to get on stage. You go out there, get your stuff together, you start pitching, you let them evaluate, you go back and forth, then they announce, and then maybe in 2, 3, 4, sometimes a year, that's when the event actually happens, because they want that amount of time to promote you so that you can be promoted as a speaker, and they highlight you, they interview you, all of those really, really cool things. I like events that are like that, because if we're about to exchange some time, I would like to be promoted as a speaker. You would like to be promoted as a speaker. It's a pretty amazing thing when they actually promote you, and you get some time to promote the event yourself, to bring in some folks to come and see you. What I'm noticing with these events that are sourcing speakers rather quickly is that they are not really promoting you so much. They're just saying, well, here you go. That's good. You could put this badge on your social media, boom, and then the event is like right then and there. So it's not that I don't like those events. I think you should definitely partake in those, but I do feel a little some way in that they are not taking the amount of time to promote the event and to promote you as a speaker. I really do like events that take care of their speakers, because it's the acknowledgement of your content being worthwhile. That's what I appreciate about events that really take care of their speakers. And just to let you know, events that take care of their speakers, this is how you actually start making that money, how you start negotiating for travel, how you convert clients, how you get in front of sponsors. Those are from the events that take care of their speakers. The events that are just like boom, 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 let's get it done, let's get it done. You'll get out there, you'll get in front of some people, but don't be surprised if the experience isn't what you think it is. I don't know if that makes any sense. Let me know if that makes any sense. But when it comes to getting on stage, at the shortest, I do think it'll take 90 days. At the longest, it may take you 6 months, because we got to make sure your talk is hitting in the right places. We got to make sure you're talking to the right audience, the right people, the right target, the right industry. And so that's why it really is, it's not so much, it's a time thing. With speaking and getting on stage and being able to leverage, it is a time thing. It's not that it can't happen. For all of you who have these goals of getting on stage by the end of the year, you absolutely can do it. You can do it. And if you're hyper focused, it can go a lot faster. And when I say hyper focus, you got to be hyper focused. When I was starting this out, speaking, I was hyper focused. One day a week, every Wednesday, I would sit down from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I would pitch my heart out. I pitched my butt off, actually. And I did that for, oh my gosh, for a year. I did so much of it. And you just sit down and you just pitch, and you go back and forth. You follow up, you find, you figure out which ones are the right ones. And I mean, to be honest, this is how iFind You Close was born, because I would sit down there and research all day. Research all of these events all day, because I couldn't find any reliable information. That's why I created iFind You Close, because it would just take me hours. I mean, it would take up to 4 hours just to find, oh my gosh, 3 quality events. And I know it sounds crazy, but that's how long it would take to find 3 good quality events, to figure out what it is that they wanted. Then I can get into, all right, how do I go and pitch these people? What's my angle, what I'm doing? That's one of the reasons why I did create iFind You Close, was to give you back a few hours of your time, because I know how it is when you're trying to, especially for us who who are multitasking in business, starting off as a solo business owner, you're multitasking, you're trying to take care of clients, you're trying to pitch, you're trying to research, you're trying to deliver what you promise. At the same time, you're updating your website, you're sending out your newsletters, you're doing all of these things. I know how it is. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. and that's one of the things that I really wanted to bring to iFind You Close, is to kind of give you back a few hours, just a few hours, so that you work on your business and, let us take care of the research, because you still got to put in all of the extra effort to go and pitch and get on stage. But that's what I would do for I did about 18 months, about a year. And then, of course, it got really busy, and I got my workflow down of how I was pitching. But for 8 hours every day, I would just sit there. I call it an opportunity day. And it's like, all right, what are you doing today? We're going to go look for some opportunities. And I still have my 8-hour opportunity day. I didn't take any sales calls or anything. This was all I worked on, because I knew speaking was one of the things that I really wanted to do to market my business. That is essentially what I was using speaking for, was to market the business. Now, for those of you who are leveraging speaking in order to, hey Tanya, how you doing? For those of you who are leveraging speaking in order to make money, the effort is going to be turned up a notch. I spend 8 hours every week just pitching and researching. That's what I did. And that was all just to leverage speaking as a way to market the business. For those of you who are trying to leverage speaking to make money, be a professional speaker, this is your day job. You're going to be doing this at least 5 to 8 hours every day. You're going to be sending out 100 to 500 pitches a week. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. I absolutely know it sounds crazy, but that is what it takes in order for you to convert to make this money. Nobody said this was going to be easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy, princess. If it was easy, anybody could do it. It just takes a little bit of effort and a lot of focus. It ain't rocket science. My background is in computer science. I worked for the U.S. Navy as a scientist and eventually got my master's degree in systems engineering. I've worked around people with rocket science degrees, nuclear engineering degrees. This ain't it. This is just called a whole lot of hard work, okay? It's called a whole lot of hard work and a lot of commitment. And the amount of work you put in, you will start seeing a lot of these benefits. You absolutely will start seeing a lot of these benefits of how fast you can get on stage. When you become hyper-focused, trust me, it'll go really, 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 really fast. If you just kind of like, you know what, I'll do an hour a month. You get what you get, if, like my coach has always told me, what you do these 90 days will pay off. If you decide to kind of do a little bit in the 90 days, in the next 90 days, you will only see a little bit of return. If you decide to focus on it, trust me, you'll see a lot of return, and it absolutely will work. Now, if you got any questions, make sure you put it in the comment box. I'm here on Instagram and also here on YouTube. And we're just talking about, my reality check of how long it takes to get on stage. Because we want to get out there. We want to leverage speaking to do all of these amazing things, but it does take time. It takes time, y'all. All of these people that you're seeing that have these huge stages, they didn't just wake up one day and said, this is what I'm going to do. And it turned around right then and there. It took a lot of effort, a lot of organizing, and a lot of being hyper-focused. And that's what it's really going to take to be hyper-focused. Now, what I will tell you is, I'm actually going to pull my chair up because I don't like the rule of thirds on my camera here. For those of you on Instagram, you have no idea what I'm talking about, because I decided to sit down this time. I'm going to move my microphone. I will tell you this, and I've been telling all of the subscribers inside of iFind You Close the outlook for 2021 when it comes to speaking. Virtual is going to be the thing. So if virtual is your thing, do it. Say yes to everything, because what's going to happen come 22, there will be demand, because we're going to get back to live events. We're going to get back to live events. There will be demand for us to go and speak in person. And all of the work that you're doing this year, I mean, it's definitely going to set you up for all the things that you're working on. You can meet your goals. You will definitely be able to grow your business. But this is basically a setup year to prep you if you do want to get on a live stage next year. This is a year of setup. We've dedicated our word of the year for iFind You Close is reset. It is time to reset your goals or reset your priorities and reset your why as to why you're being on stage. And for those of you who want to leverage speaking, there will be budgets next year. Whoo, there's going to be money. Like they're going to be making it rain. My prediction, I could be completely wrong, but they're going to be making it rain for a lot of folks. This is the year of setup. You got to set yourself up. Get out there, all of these virtual events, start practicing, practice. Make connections, you network. This is what you're going to be doing so that when people are going live, they'll bring you back into the fold because it won't be like your old content because nobody's ever seen you before. They've seen you virtually, but they want to experience you in person. So that's one of the things I definitely want to leave with you today is that if you're going to be doing this, make sure you get hyper focused. If leveraging speaking to grow your brand, to travel, get your name out there, build your authority, hands down, build your authority, you need to make some commitments. It's time to look at your goals, all right? I know we haven't addressed goals here on the show, so make sure I will add that in so that we can look at the goals. I'm going to show you exactly how I create goals when it comes to speaking, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's markers and posters involved. I know. But we're going to talk about that fairly soon so that you can start creating some goals around what you're doing. Love Sherry Amore. Hey, how you doing? On Instagram. So if you want to leverage speaking to grow your business, your brand, your authority, to get your name out there, to become known. My other coach told me all of your job is to wake up and ask yourself, who needs to know my name today? That's your job in 2021. Who needs to know my name today while I'm sitting in my basement? Because in 22, I won't need Spanx because I'm going to be ready to get on stage. That's what we're going for. So this is all a setup work. So like I said, in the shortest, it's going to take 90 days for you to get on a stage. If you have a big stage you're trying to get on, it may take you up to a year. But all of these little things that you're doing are setting you up for success. So that's what I want to leave with you. If you have questions about that, if you came in late, all you got to do is watch the replay. If you came in late here on Instagram, you can go find this in IGTV. For those of you on YouTube, it's going to be on YouTube forever and ever, or until YouTube gets rid of me. I don't know what's going to come first. But yeah, if you got any questions, put them in the comment box. I think that's, hey, is it Christelle? Ooh, I like that. Hey, Chriselle, we're talking about traveling the world as a speaker and the reality check of how long it takes to get on stage. Now, we're finishing up, and I was just telling everyone, and the shortest is going to take you about 90 days to get on stage. If you have a big goal of a major stage, it's going to take you about a year. That's okay. It'll take you about a year, depending on where you're trying to go. But for the most part, all of 21, I want you to get out there, leverage, take advantage of all of these virtual, because when 22 comes and when people got budgets and people are ready to get naked and go party and go sniff and lick each other at live events, they're going to need speakers. And this is the year to kind of put yourself out there and build up that credibility, start networking with these people and becoming known. That's your job, is to become known, so that in a year, because a lot of the bigger events, they still take a year to book speakers. They still take a year. A lot of events that I've been researching are gosh, they started booking speakers for 22 last year. So this is your prep work to get on stage for next year if you want a live stage. As long as everybody behaves and wear your mask and get your vaccines. That's what you're going to do. All right, I think that's all I have for you. That's all I have for you. I played around with my Instagram filter, so thank you for letting me do that. I figure since I'm at home in the basement and I don't have to put on Spanx to come and speak to you, I might as well use all the filters because I have amazing skin when I'm here on Instagram. I love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, doesn't get any better than that. So for those of you on Instagram, thank you so very much for tuning in. Tomorrow we will be live again because we come live every day because I have committed myself. Sometimes I wonder who's crazy, me or the folks watching. I've committed to go live every day for a year. I've done this before, so it's a really cool little challenge. Just FYI, this is how I landed a lot of speaking gigs a couple of years ago by going live. All right, so what we're going to talk about tomorrow, and I'll promise I will have a travel story. I took a nap before we started, and I was like really sleepy because I've been staying up way too late. Tomorrow, what we're going to talk about is Friday. Did y'all know no, tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday. I think I skipped over my Thursday show. All right, so I will make sure oh no, we got Thursday. Thursday. I got my Thursday show. So we're going to talk about the secret to getting on stages. Negotiating. Ooh. We're going to talk about negotiating. Again, we're going to talk about negotiating. I'm telling you, if you want to travel, if you want to use speaking to travel, you got to learn how to negotiate. So I'm going to give you a couple of things, a couple of secrets when it comes to negotiating and how you need to be quiet first and let them make the first offer. She who speaks first loses. I know. So we're going to talk about negotiating tomorrow. So we're going to be here live 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's when we're going to go live. On the weekends, we go 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So tomorrow, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can come and join us over here on YouTube because our goal is to get to 1,000 so I could take you on the road with me. So go to ifindyouclothes.com/YouTube, and we're going to talk about more speaking, more traveling, and how to negotiate so that you can use speaking so that you can travel the world. We're going to talk about that. And I'm going to give you one of the biggest things. Like I said, negotiating. It's all about that negotiating thing. So for those of you on Instagram, I really do appreciate you. I will see you tomorrow. Be sure to follow us here on iFindYouClothes. And of course, if you want to see if you can attract high-paid speaking gigs, go to ifindyouclothes.com. Get the free assessment. I want to see everything you got so I can tell you what you need to do. So I will see you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Y'all stay safe out there. For those of you who are on YouTube at our home, I can't sing. I was a baton twirler and a dancer. So I spent a few years as a professional cheerleader. Maybe I'll tell you that story. That'll be hilarious. I'll tell you that story tomorrow or Friday or Saturday morning when I'm bored. I'll show you some photos too. I was really cute when I was in my 20s. I was really cute. Oh my gosh. Oh, the 20s. But it is time for us to go ahead and start shutting this bad boy down. You know, I appreciate you for being here. Like I said, if you need anything, put your comments in the comment box. I'll make sure some answers appear. And of course, if you want a free assessment to see if you can attract high-paid speaking engagements, go to ifindyouclothes.com and let me hook you up. All right. And outside of that, I'll see you tomorrow. So take care of yourself. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay sane. That's the other thing. Stay sane this year. Because folks are trying everybody's patience.